split your head so hard that your hat can't fit you.
Hey, so I wanted to make this video because I think it's really easy to romanticize the idea of what it means to be a digital nomad. You hear it's a buzzword, it gets thrown around a lot. You see the videos on YouTube of people, with the GoPro headshots, and they go out on tropical islands and hike and whatever. And it's really easy to dismiss it as a fantasy and say, these are Instagram people, they're not real people. But no one really ever talks about what goes on behind the scenes to make this work long term. So I thought I could break it down a bit, maybe humanize it a little with the examples that I have and the people that I've met and what they do. So the digital nomad is a sensationalized way of saying, I have a way of making income from my laptop that doesn't require me to be in a specific location, as long as I have an internet connection. So there's lots of different forms that can take. You get people who are freelance writers. They write articles, they write content for other people. There's platforms online that you can sign up to be a freelance writer, and people pay you to write. There's graphic designers that work on a freelance basis as well. There's people who develop websites, people who build websites for other people and businesses, and they get paid for that. There's people who do advertising, people who manage social media accounts. These are real things that people do if you have the skill set and you know where to find the jobs. There's people who do drop shipping. So drop shipping is basically, if I sell a product and someone buys my product, I then wait for someone to pay me, and then I pay a supplier or a manufacturer overseas to ship the product directly to that person. That's what drop shipping is. And you can make an income enough to sustain you while traveling if you want to do that. I've met one or two guys who are full-time traders. They trade stocks and they trade currencies, and that gives them just enough of an income to travel indefinitely. What I do is a little bit different. So I've been fortunate enough through a series of fortunate events and hard work to work with a company based in Melbourne, but we happen to have a team that's mostly remote. So we have someone in Armenia, someone in the Philippines, someone in the US, someone in Melbourne, and me. And we all have different roles to play. But basically, what I do is a mixture of client work and internal work for the company. So I produce content, I write blog articles that are aimed at painting our company as an authoritative source, an authoritative voice in the industry. So what is digital analytics? How do I measure certain things going on my website? What are the best case practices for the things that I want to do to my website? How much should I be spending on this channel of advertising? Or what should I put in my content? Things like this, things that are topical, things that provide immediate value to businesses when they read it. So I write these articles as part of something called content advertising. So instead of selling something to someone, you produce enough content, you provide enough value that people come and read the content that you put out, and then they hire you. That's the general idea. So part of my job is to write that content. Another part of my job is to look at how people use the websites of clients. So there's a bunch of tools that I use, and I'll probably make some other videos on that at a later stage. But it's basically around how people use a website. So where they click, how they go through from finding the web page, where they come from to find that web page, all the way through to buying something at the end, or whatever the person wants to have done with that product. I know this is getting a bit in depth, but that's the point of this video. So for example, there's a client that we're working with right now. I'm not going to give any details that aren't publicly available, but basically they want to sell more of a certain product, and for some reason a lot of the people that come to their website, about half of them leave within a minute. And so it's my job to figure out why that is by looking at the data and looking at screen recordings and how people use their website, and figure out why they might be leaving the website within a minute, half of them, because that's a big number. And apologize for the background noise, and provide recommendations on how to fix it and what to change so that they can sell more stuff And so people are more likely to find what they're looking for when they come to the website. I'm doing a lot of talking. I hope you're still with me. That's a boat in the background. See, this is the not sexy side of working and traveling. A third part of my job is to set up AdWords campaigns. So when you search, I'm gonna pause for a sec. So a third part of my job is to set up AdWords campaigns. So you know when you search for something on Google and you see the little ads pop up on the side or on the top of the window, right? That's me, I put them there. I write those ads, I test them, I see which ones work and which ones don't. And companies pay the company that I work for to have that done because it's a niche set of skills. So it's something that I went out and got an independent qualification for from Google, Google AdWords certification. You can get that, it's free. If you do work in the space and if you do work in anything to do with finance or marketing, I definitely recommend you put in the time to get it. It's free and it looks good on your resume and it helps you do jobs like this. Or just, it's a desirable skill set, right? And so those are the three parts of my job right now. And yeah, like I said, this is the not sexy part that no one really talks about because it doesn't look sexy on YouTube. But without it, I can't do this. I'm going home back to Melbourne in about 3 days. But theoretically, I could do this indefinitely. Right? And I know I'm fortunate with that. I know that this is something that not everyone gets to be able to do. So what my day looks like is basically I wake up, I do an hour of work, I find a cafe, I have a coffee, and I sit down and I do an hour of work. Now you might be wondering, how does your boss, know what you've done or know what you're doing or knows how you've worked? So we are in pretty much constant communication, and that's just part of the job. We use a tool called Slack to keep in contact with chatting, so I can ask questions, he can check in. There's an app we use to track the time that I spend on things, and it's the same app we use for all our remote workers, no matter where they are. And so before we start a project, we budget a time schedule. So we say, this number of hours are assigned to this task, and I'm going to pay you for these number of hours to get this task done. And so it's not like an arbitrary amount of time. I can't say that I've spent 5 hours doing a single thing and be like, yep, sure, whatever, pay you for 5 hours. No, it's like, this is how much time you're going to spend on this task. Agreed, great, go do it. And that's how that works. There's a project management tool we use called Basecamp, where we track the tasks that are supposed to be done and we tick them off when they're done. As far as communication goes, we have weekly Skype calls. So everyone from around the world on the team calls in, and we spend about 20 minutes to an hour sometimes detailing what we've gotten up to during the week for work and otherwise. And we talk about what is ahead, like what we're going to do for the week ahead. So that's the mechanics of it. That's how it all kind of works and fits together. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I wake up, I do an hour of work, I log that in the time tracking app, then I go do something else. So lately it's been meditating, I've been diving a lot while I've been here. I've also had the opportunity to consult with 2 NGOs while I've been here. So an NGO is a non-government organization or a non-profit, and the 2 that I've been consulting with are around eco-sustainable tourism. So on this island is preserving the coral reefs, and so I've been helping them with digital marketing and developing their websites. I've also been going out on cleanup dives to clean up the reefs and build artificial reef structures. And so hopefully I'm providing some value with the skills that I have there. And then I come back, I have lunch, usually in a day, and after lunch I do another hour of work. And so the way it works right now is if I do 2 hours of work, I cover my costs for the day. And that's not saying much. I know it sounds bigger than it is, but it's really cheap to live here. So, people, yeah. I hope this has taken some of the mystery out of working remotely. But if you have any questions about the tools that I use, or what it is that I do, or what it is that you can do, send me a message, send me an email, comment, whatever. I'll be happy to answer.
Linens and things, I begin things. People start to flash. 818s, 213s, 313s, BIG. Frequently floss holes at Roscoe's. If I want a squirter, take her to Fat Burger. Spend about a week.